All right, we're going to be powering this off of the solar today. And what we're doing is we're going to take this right here. We're just going to tin the ends of it. So, I'll move my mess over here. Take some flux. And this is just 14 gauge wire. I'm just doing this because I don't like the wires to fray, and this is going on a terminal block on an inverter. So we got some solder over here, we got some leftover from last time. So what we're going to do here is, I have a way of doing this, I like to do it. Heat this thing up and wait for it to get hot. I like to melt a little bit on the tip because I'm not like trying to saturate the entire wire, because then it makes it inflexible. I'm completely doing this off of the solar inverter. And this is a 250 watt soldering iron. So I just go through and just make sure that I got the end covered in solder enough to where I won't have any strands come loose. And I do this with everything that's stranded. So there you go. Solar soldering. So now I can go take this thing over to here and put it on my inverter. So it's kind of hard for me to film this on the tripod, but there's a cover over here, and these terminals on this inverter are rated at a higher output than using the plug. And so the plug does work, but you know what I've noticed about most of these, you draw too much current through them, after a while the plugs get wobbled out. So the easiest solution is we're going to put this on the block here. Now these reliable inverters are completely backwards. They don't correspond with the receptacle. The red is not hot according to the receptacle. So either the receptacle is backwards or the block is backwards. But since we're floating, I'm not really worried about it. The yellow is going to be our ground, and the black is going to be our hot, and the red is going to be our neutral. And I need to open this up before too long and check to see if this is correct or if that's correct, but it really doesn't matter at this point. So we're just going to put our terminals that we just soldered in here, and black go around. They like to use these weird, I don't know, they're like in between screws. They're not really a Phillips number 1, and they're not really a small Phillips. Kind of reminds me of those ones with the hex in the middle, except for those don't slip like this. So on a lot of these inverters, you'd be better off to probably just use a flat bladed screwdriver if you are having trouble with the Phillips. Now this is just something that I had laying around. I bought a table saw for this guy, and you know the table saws, the big huge motors, they're on a cord usually, and they don't have a switch on them. So he made this thing out of a 14 gauge power cord. I don't like that screwdriver. Make sure these are nice and tight. I don't want one of them yanking out of there and then arcing out. So now we got this here, and we can resume business and hook up our air conditioner again. If I figure out what I did with the cover that I took off of it, you definitely want to make sure that you put this back on here. Because if you touch this thing, you'll have a surprise. So, this thing has like some glorified stop-start thing. But it doesn't really matter with an air conditioner, because when an air conditioner gets powered on, it doesn't turn on right away. So anyway, that's my little inverter tip for you guys if you're going to be taking things on and out. Thanks for watching.